Hello guys and gals of the internet. I am Pacific Girls of YouTube and Twitch TV, your host for this very special day. Finally, the wait is over. After 2 years of Tekken 7 being in Japanese and South Korean arcades, it is time for the Americans and Europeans to get their hands on it. Welcome to the story mode playthrough, everybody. I've been looking forward to this day for so long. It has felt like an eternity. Let's get right to it. Before we do, I'm just going to mention a couple of things here before we start. Number one is that the complete dunce in me forgot to mention in my 7 Chaos previous episode of this game, but I will be picking up the PC version of this game at a later date. I love Tekken so much, and I love the series, that Tekken 7 is going to be one of those rare occasions where I actually pick it up on another platform. I do not have an Xbox One because I didn't feel the need for it. I mentioned that in the episode. So I will be getting the PC version at a later date. Second is that I'm actually going to be using my fight stick, the Hori Arcade Pro 4, I think it's called. This new black one that was released about a year ago. I'm going to actually use the stick for this playthrough. Now keep in mind that I do suffer from cerebral palsy, so I might not be overly great with it. It affects my left side the most, so movement might not be all good. But I thought, you know what? It's been sitting here kind of not doing anything for about a year since I last used it, with my Ultra Street Fighter 4 kind of breaking it in session that I did for YouTube about over a year ago. So you know what? I thought I'd get some use for it. Why not? But be aware that performances might suck in the early going here. So yeah, Tekken 7 story mode. Pretty much going to follow the same formula as like Injustice, MK9, MKX sort of thing. So it's a bit different from the kind of Tekken Force kind of little story things we've been playing. And obviously in Tekken 5 and 6, it was a bit of a story mode, but I think it was really different to what those games did. On the intro video here. That's before Tekken 1, I'm assuming. Also keep in mind I did play this on stream at 0 hour, so I kind of know a little bit, but I haven't played the story or even seen it as of yet, because this is one of those games where I did not want to spoil myself. Even though I do that with every game, I never want to spoil a game for myself, especially when it's something I love like Tekken. I will be adjusting the volume if I have to. Again, Capture's doing actually really good. It's kind of like almost perfect level, I think. What an absolute piece of news that was, the reveal of Akuma for Tekken. That's such a big thing, you know. Such a popular Street Fighter character in another fighting series. Never would have seen it in a million years. And I mean mainstream Tekken game. Obviously he was in Street Fighter Cross Tekken, but he's actually part of the mainstream canon now, which, like I said, probably gives me hope for Tekken Cross Street Fighter. I want that game to exist. I know it's very unlikely, but you never know. Because don't forget, this now makes Tekken 7, this story's going to be canon. So it obviously means that Akuma was part of the Tekken lore. It's quite amazing, like I said, how they kind of put him in. You know, when the series has gone so long and the lore has been kind of there. It's amazing to think how they just fitted him in, and it's kind of nice and easy to do. I mean, I've got my own theories of how this will end, but because this game is going to be the end of the Machinima tale. in the Tekken series. It has been going for so long now. Discounting Tekken Tag Tournament 1 and 2 and Tekken Revolution, which aren't really canon. I don't think any of those kind of things that happen in those games are particularly canon. You know, the mainstream series 1 to 7 is obviously the part of the story. I'm talking over this, I shouldn't be, I'm sorry. Oh my god. So giddy. It's finally in my hands, dude. I've waited so long for this. Like I said in the previous episode, when the date came up last year, it's just like, my heart just sank. Because I wanted this for so long, and it's been out for so long already. But only in arcades. So this is the full household version. As you know, I've already booted it up, so I don't really have to worry about other stuff. But let's check the settings anyway, because I don't think I did, because I only played a little bit on 0 hour. Story mode difficulty, let's see. I think we'll go that. That seems like the medium. CPU difficulty medium. 2 rounds, 60 seconds. Vibration settings. I don't think the fight stick has vibrations, so we don't have to worry about it. Tournament settings. Whether to use tournament settings, huh? I don't think we'll worry about that right now, because it's the story mode. It's obviously not going to follow that, so we won't worry about that too much. Sound options. Subtitles are on. That's good. Now, with this fight stick, I have to look a little bit. I'm assuming it's to be set like a PlayStation 4 controller. The good thing is, with this Hori, it actually has the buttons corresponding on the screen as well, so it kind of gives like triangle, square, and all that stuff. It looks as pretty much Tekken standard fare, which is a good thing. A lot of the buttons are disabled, including like the full button. Yeah, that's one thing I noticed last night. Rage Arts actually has a shortcut of just R1 compared to the full input. The Rage Arts inputs are quite simple anyway. Only Akuma's is different, because Akuma pretty much plays like Street Fighter. From what I've played of him early on, Akuma is pretty much Street Fighter in a Tekken game. And those are the R buttons, but the 1 button. Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, he's pretty much Street Fighter, but he's also got some Tekken kind of feel about him as well. So I think they integrated him very well. He's going to not be as easy as some people may think. You know, he's still going to have that that Tekken feel about him, which is pretty cool. All right, we've been waffling for about 8 minutes. Let's get this underway. I'm sorry about that. Just need to check through my settings and things like that. All right, let's do it. Prologue: The Strings of Destiny.
I remember receiving my first letter from my son a few years back. Scribbled on it were the words, "I love you."
No.
I was so happy, I cried. At the time, I believed that love was all anyone needed.
That's pretty much a fact of life.
For some years now, I've been investigating a certain father and son. And I managed to get a hold of the first letter the boy wrote to his father.
Ah.
It said, "Father, one day, I will tear you to pieces."
That's really fucked up. That is really fucked up. I think one thing you're gonna know about the Mishima bloodline is, it's fucked. These guys always spend like all the time just fighting each other. But with that, you can sympathize. I wonder if he actually saw what had happened. So what's going on? Do I have to push all these buttons? They're on the screen, so I'm guessing that's what I'm gonna do, right? Oh, here we go. During the main story, you can execute 4 preset moves by holding the story assist button and pressing the punch or kick button. that's corresponding to it. That's the list we saw. The default story assist button is L1. I'm not sure if we have to use that or not. Let's see. I'm not sure if that makes the game easier or whatnot. I don't know what that means. Classic Kazuya combo from Tekken 2. God damn. He just ran the order and punted him in the fucking head. That is fucked up. Ah, the classic Tekken trope of being thrown over a volcano. The Machinimas do that. I'm going to pronounce that wrong all the time. The Machinimas actually do that a lot. You know, Heihachi did it to Kazuya here, and then Tekken 1 happened, and then he returned the favor. Throw Kazuya off his throw. Fair enough. And then Heihachi climbs out in Tekken 2, and then that's how that begins. And then he throws Kazuya over the volcano again at the end of his story. Kazuya then misses in Tekken 3, and then he's rescued in Tekken 4 by, I believe it's G-Corp, and experimented on for his Devil Gene, and yeah, the process kind of repeats itself a few times. And then Jin arrives, Jun's killed by Olga. I do know a little bit of the story and the lore of Tekken, but I'm not really big on it. Really, because there wasn't a real story mode for the game. There was obviously the Tekken Force and things like that. The Tekken 5 story, the Tekken 6 story. But I never really played those because I didn't particularly like them that much. I'm going to assume that's Jin. Looked a bit like him. Something even wear. That's Nina.
As leader of the Mishima Zaibatsu, Jin Kazama plunged the world into war.
Ah, subtitles are good and big
He
for
sent
you
the
to read.
human
That's good.
race to hell, all so he could save it.
Profited from his own war.
Fear and hatred enveloped the globe, filling it with despair.
He does have the Devil Gene, to be fair, though, so
Just as Jin
probably lost his
predicted,
mind on those.
Earth's despair awoke Azazel, an ancient
Oh, that
beast
son of a
deep
bitch.
underground.
Oh my god, the worst boss ever. Literally.
Jin defeated
So he
Azazel in
awoke
battle
him, huh?
and saved the planet.
I reckon this is what the Tekken 6 story mode was, but I never really played it.
Saved. The war that Jin began has now evolved into a battle between the Mishima Zaibatsu and G Corporation.
That's been pretty much happening since
One
Tekken
which has
4, I
kept
think.
the wheels of turmoil spinning day after day.
If you remember Tekken
It's
4,
winner
Jin was
take
actually
all.
captured.
And the prize is world domination. Jin, the one who started everything, has gone missing in the Middle East. His whereabouts remain unknown, but his disappearance
Damn.
has tipped the scales in G-Corp's favor.
That does make sense.
Area E2031にて救難信号を受信
Area 3E2. I could read it.
我々が数日前まで当初を捜索していたエリアの近くです
Increase surveillance. If a UN soldier so much as sneezes, I want to know.
近隣の町もチェックさせます
The deadly sneezes. I did my research. Let me know.
久しぶりよ
He is looking fine in this
こ
game.
の場所に立
These graphics are insane. You might not have 4K on PS4, but it's still damn good.
つ手に取るようにわかるわい
I believe the PC version is the only version that can support 4K HDR, which is kind of weird when you think that the PlayStation 4 Pro is quite a popularly bought console, alongside the slim PS4 I would have thought, and the Xbox One S was obviously released as well.
The answer to that question still
So Chapter
eludes me.
1, King of Iron Fist returns.
That day, I was reporting from a battlefield,
So this guy's a news reporter.
gathering news about the war to bring to the world.